Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. In this video I wanted to show you guys how you can run with a very high reliability the T3 gamma sites in the Capsuleer Day 2024 event, namely the Disastrous gamma filaments. These go for about 13 million ISK each, these filaments, and I would say the loot you get can range from at lowest maybe 20-25 million ISK all the way up to a couple of 100 million ISK. It depends a lot on the loot drops you get. But we're doing this in a 43 million ISK stabber. So it's a pretty good price, I would say, for what you can get. Run 2 of these sites and you're almost guaranteed to get your whole ship's worth back. And sometimes even just one site can give your whole ship's value back multiple times over. This fit is 43 million ISK, as I said before. It costs more now because I got the filament in the cargo hold. But it's a hybrid fit. I'm a big fan of hybrid fits, and I think that this fit is very suited for this gamma site in particular. The reason is because in the gamma sites you have increased shield HP, so that's what I'm trying to capitalize on here. I'm boosting my ship's passive shield a lot here, so we're just going to move a line in quickly so we can run the site there. But we've got the field extenders here and then a large shield extender, and it's even slightly damaged, so we will need to actually repair our stuff because it's always good to have maximum like HP of all your modules here. We'll just quickly do that in the system removal island because we've got some citadels there that have got free repairs there. We've also got this large ancillary shield booster, and this is awesome because this boosts our shields so hard. So on top of us having a relatively big shield, I mean there's a lot bigger shield, passive shield fits out there, but we've still got pretty hefty shields. Then you've got the large ancillary shield booster. And the great thing about this is it doesn't care about cap. But the downside is we need to have these cap charges, so we can only use this for a limited amount of time. And that's very suited, in my opinion, for these types of event sites, because when it comes to these combat abyss sites in the Capsuleer Day 2024 event, you usually have incoming DPS only for a very short amount of time, because the majority of the DPS, it comes from these towers. You might have seen my previous video where I was a little bit ill-informed. I thought that the majority of the DPS comes from these little frigates, but no, it actually doesn't. The majority of the DPS comes from the towers in these sites. A lot of DPS comes from the frigates and also the battleship, but the battleship is usually easily to avoid because of your speed. The frigates do a lot of damage as well, but the majority of the damage are from those towers. So as soon as you destroy the towers, then you usually have a very good time tanking. So that's what this ancillary shield booster is good, and it comes into a good role here, where you can just use it while taking damage, and then you have not even used, or maybe just you're maybe on your reload cycle when you have destroyed all the towers. So I'll demonstrate to you in person here how this works. Your drones are pretty good. They can help a lot with the DPS, and then they can also help with aiding destroying these towers. So there's 2 different types of ammunition types I like to use with the autocannons here. One is hail, which is the close range ammunition, but I always start off with the barrage here. See the barrage? It's got a long range, 33 kilometer fall off, so you're able to hit those towers quicker, because the towers, they don't have so much HP. The main thing is just being able to hit them quick enough. So that's where also the drones can be helpful, because you've got a pretty good drone control range with good skills, 60 kilometers, so you can send the drones quickly and destroy the towers. But the thing is, these drones, they take time to actually approach the target, and the stabber is a pretty quick ship. So I actually usually am able to destroy the towers with my guns before the drones are able to do it themselves. But they're good as assistants here. So we'll show you exactly how this works. We go in, make sure your security is in yellow, and just an FYI, my character here has very good skills. No implants, but very good skills. So if you are like a new alpha, don't expect to have this kind of results. I just go straight towards the towers here, use the Afterburner and the passive shield module on, and I start blapping the frigates in the meantime. I lock up these towers, and then I send the drones so that they can be active on the towers here. I keep blapping the frigates when I'm on the way here, so we can take them out. And I keep the ancillary shield booster overheated, because when I can start using it now, so that we just can maximize this fully. So we can just blap a few frigates here. When you start to get within that 40-30 kilometers range, that's when you can start shooting here, and you start to do a little bit of damage. See here? We've already almost destroyed that. There we go, 2 towers down. Now we've got the 2 other ones there. I turn around here and go to the other side. Simple. You can also go past them Torvald Uruz, he made a video on a different stabber fit, and he went to the boundary, and the boundary teleports you to the other side. But I find it to be about the same time, just to go and turn around like this. The thing I like about turning around also is that I can do a little bit more damage to the NPCs meanwhile while I'm moving. But it's also a very valid strategy to also just go straight into the boundary box, and you just end up on the other side of the restless towers here. So we just keep moving here. Because the gamma sights, they have a bonus to the shield HP, and we've got a large shield extender. We have the 30k shield HP, you see that here? So even though we've got our ancillary shield booster on recharge, we're still got a decent amount of tank. So we just move in here, just move here, blap the frigates on the way here, blap the frigates on the way here. Keep an eye on your drones, we don't want them to take too much damage because the frigates like to eat the drones alive. There we go, good. Now we can move in. Just get close to these guys here. Blap them here. Use the autocannons. Turn around a bit because you're going to be able to destroy them now. There we go. We've destroyed all the towers. So now it's a pretty easy situation. You just destroy the battleship, and all you have to do is get close to it. There's two types of battleships. There are the drifter ones, as we've got now, and then there's the Leshak. The Leshak is, in my opinion, a little bit more difficult because it's got a web, and the web has unlimited range, but it becomes more powerful the closer you get to it. So out here, the web would have very little effect, but when you get very close, it's going to be really strong. So I find it a little bit more difficult to avoid the Leshak's damage than the Charybdis Tyrannos. Not the Charybdis, I'm just so used to all these abyssal entities being called Charybdis Tyrannos, but it's the impaired drifter battleship. I find it quite easy because now we're not taking so much damage. We just go and orbit this guy maybe at 500, 1000 is probably a good range, so we don't want to go too close, so that then we won't be able to track properly. But we just go here. I'm still using the barrage, but then I switch over to the hail because now we're close, and we just keep attacking. Now this was a bit of an unlucky room because you can get a ton of ISK from these sides. A big portion of the ISK comes from the wreck that drops from this guy here, the battleship, but I would say an even bigger portion, in my experience, I've not got so much experience, but in my limited experience, you get more ISK from the caches that can spawn here, because that's where you can get these really expensive implants you can get. The unfortunate thing here is that they've not spawned. Sometimes they spawn, sometimes they don't spawn. I've encountered a maximum of 2 caches spawning, so you can get even 2 of them spawning in. Often I find 1 spawn in, but sometimes I've had 2 spawn in. I just recalled my drones there because they were taking a bit of damage. And there's a scout Edencom cache, and then there's a expedition cache. The expedition one usually contains a bit more ISK. The expedition one usually contains a bit more ISK in my experience. Now I notice here I'm getting a bit of glancing off and grazing shots, so I deactivate my afterburner, so I'm not going too fast. And then I'll also orbit the 500 meter range and just keep wrecking this guy here. So you see, it's pretty simple. The majority of the damage comes from those towers. You just go directly at them and then use the barrage. And you can also just go directly into the boundary box and teleport on the other end, or you can go like I did towards the other end, blap stuff on the way and wreck the other towers. It's pretty simple. In the T4s, I've never been able to complete them. They're very difficult. They've got towers there, there, up there, and down there. You just got way too much DPS. Combine that with the amount of frigates that spawn, I find it really difficult to tank stuff and still be able to destroy all the stuff in time. I've been able to destroy all the towers in sniper-based fits, but I've not been able to destroy the frigates. The frigates just are brutal. They do so much damage, and then so many of them, like maybe 10, 20, 15 of them. And then plus the battleship as well, because they got all the E-war and everything. You get the newts, so you're probably not going to be able to move too much with the hard newts from the frigates. But I'm sure there is a way to run the T4, and there's only one T4 as far as I can see, the Firestone variant. But when it comes to the T3s, I like this Gamma here, because you're able to use this Stabber, have a pretty easy time, not have to stress too much, not a really expensive ship, and it's been very consistent. I've never come close to dying in this ship here. It's always been really consistent. And you can see here, I could potentially use my large shield boost now, but I don't because, I mean, I'm taking so little damage, just grazing shots. I anyway have a decent amount of passive HP per second from this ship here. It's not so much, 24 million is estimated, but it's going to be actually less because these things have gone down a lot in price, but it's actually only 2 million, so it's probably like 15, 20 minutes, but it's still very bad loot is what we got here. So it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is sometimes. You know, you don't always get tons of ISK from these sites, but you can sometimes get absolutely amazing ISK. And that's why my balance is very high, very high. A little bit of a spoiler for the future. I want to buy some cool stuff with that, but I've been able to earn a lot of ISK from this. I would, however, say if you are doing this event, you would have probably a better time earning large amounts of ISK if you do the T3 exploration sites. It's just my opinion, based on my limited experience, but I find that the ISK is a little bit better there. I could be wrong, but I think it is a little bit better there. So if you are going to do the T3 combat or the T3 exploration, I probably would do the exploration. And to me, it doesn't make too much sense because I find the combat to be riskier. I mean, the exploration site doesn't have any risk at all to it. You don't have anything that can face you. The biggest risk is exiting the gate because then you can encounter potentially gankers, but I've not really had much experience with them so far. So that's good. Okay, so we're done here. We can run another site quickly, but we've got really bad ISK there. That was unfortunate, actually. But you can see here the stab it works pretty good. It does the job it's made to do pretty well. You have extra utility high slots that could have some other light missiles or something, but I can't fit it. And I don't really mind because the main DPS type here is the other autocannons. You know, the autocannons, they're nice. Get pretty good range at them. So I like it that we're capitalizing on the Gamma Sight's nice bonuses, but then we're also getting a little bit of a bonus here with the Ancillary Shield Booster, and we're able to have a pretty good DPS. I mean, we've got 3 Tech 2 damage modules here. So we get a decent amount of DPS. I mean, there are crews that have potentially more DPS than this, but 590, not too bad in my opinion. Oh, look at that. Look at all those red people. The gankers here or something. Lots of gankers there. The Disastrous Gamma. Ooh, the prices go up on this thing. I bought it not so long ago for 13 million ISK. Now suddenly 17 million ISK. Oof. Oof. Probably me advertising this filament is going to make people run this so that the price goes up, or it could be that we get really bad loot here and no one wants to run it. Maybe that's good. I need to do that. No one wants to run this here. Or no one who sees the video. Not like there's a lot of people watching these videos anyway, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's get the stuff here. Annihilated. This is the exploration filament. It's quite expensive. 50 million is the real price. It says 71 million, but it's 51 million. That is the real price. Okay, so we sell this. Let's see how much we get. It's probably going to be very close to what we paid. Yeah, exactly. Like we basically earned nothing from that. I want to check here. Have I got any filaments made? Because I often have been having these jobs here, industry jobs for the filaments. Get that one here. Disastrous Gamma. I like to top up the cat boosters. Always good to have those things. They're very good to have. Undock here. And let's run another one. Another one. Let's see if we can score some more loot here. Let's just quickly repair here. I don't have to dock in the Mobile Island system. It's important to repair all this stuff because I always run this thing overheated so that I can just get the most out of my cat boosters. Because if I am now going to use cat boosters to power my shields, I may as well use the most out of them by overheating them. Because when you do overheat them, they give more shield per cat booster. See that? A little bit more. 10% more about. And I always keep this Multispectrum shield harden on when I'm running the site because it just, generally speaking, increases our shield bonus or shield HP, and then also makes our large ancillary with shield booster indirectly a bit more effective. Sure, so we'll put barrage here. I noticed that the implants that usually get dropped here are the Genolution ones. The Genolution implants, they're implants that buff your fitting capabilities. Genolution core augmentations, these type of ones. Expensive implants. Even though we just got small drones, they're still very valuable in my opinion because they constitute over like 10% of our DPS. So they're really nice to have. And they can also aid in our fight against the towers. I have tried a strategy of moving slightly close to them so that 60 kilometers, send the drones, then go to the other direction. But I noticed that when I'm so far away, sometimes they just forget that they're supposed to attack them and they just go the other direction, and then I'm in a bit of a situation where I've not destroyed anything. Okay, now we go for them here. I tried to pop the frigates straight away, just to get them out of the way, you know. There we go. And then I go for this one here. And then we can turn around slightly. There we go. Move around here. And I like to aim for the speed clouds because then I just get to the... I can get to the other tower as quick as possible. Use that shield booster there to just give us some extra shield HP. And it's easy, you know, I have the drones aid a slight amount here. So you've got... Now I managed to get one of the Edencom caches, so that's good. And that's good. So now we can get some extra loot from there. Sometimes the loot also can be really bad from those. It's a very big RNG situation here. It can be sometimes good, sometimes bad. 81 kilometers, and then we can get this Tachyon cloud, which is going to aid a little bit. Just pop these frigates on the way there. And there we just go and wreck these guys here. You can see I am taking a decent amount of damage, but it's all mainly from these towers. There we go. Easy. You see, you destroy them very quickly, these towers. And then there's a bit of damage coming from the drifter, obviously. I can just boost up our shields a little bit, help our passive shield recharge a bit. In orbit 500. And then switch over to the hail. And then just don't use that shield booster unnecessarily because it will consume a ton of cap if you don't use it with the cap boosters in it. Then just orbit here with the hail. Do maximum amount of DPS here. Just destroy these frigates quickly because they seem to be wanting to attack our drones. And these purple clouds here, they actually slow you down. They're a new type of cloud that hasn't existed before. We're taking a bit of damage here. Because we were getting a little bit... We're not being so careful here with the distance we were keeping from the drifter. But it's alright. We're done here. Just go and get that drifter wreck. And then we'll get that Edencom wreck as well. I have tried to use an MTU pulling this in, but it has not worked. Otherwise, it would be nice to be able to do that. Perhaps you could have an MTU and then pull this one in at least. But I've not been able to have it work. We see that drift explosion that still exists a little bit here. Open this up. 77 million ISK, but that is not the case. The reason that it's 77 million ISK is because of these. We got a lot of these here, and these have reduced drastically in price. The most of anything that you can find in these wrecks. So I'm not at all excited to see, oh, 77 million ISK. I would be excited if I would see implants and 77 million ISK. Then I would be, you know, oh, wow, nice. But we'll see. We'll see what this one has as well. The Edencom scouts can have really good loot, but they're not as top tier as the Edencom expedition ones. And they're even better. Do we have here? Just 2 million ISK. So unfortunately, This was also a bit of a bummer run here. So you see, you can get pretty bad loot here. But trust me, you can. You see my wallet is pretty fat here. There's a reason for that. But it's also a lot because of those exploration sites. In my opinion, the exploration sites are a bit better. But if you like combat, this is definitely something to go for. They're doing a bit of damage here, but hardly anything compared to what those turrets were doing before. Okay, now we're back in Jita. Let's see how much this is worth. 79 million ISK. No, it's not. My guess is 20, maybe 30 million ISK. We will see. Yeah, 30 million ISK, as you can see here. Now we can get a little bit more from this, but just maybe 1 million ISK. So not that great, but we had bad luck. It can definitely be a lot better. That's the Stabber, a hybrid fit Stabber, running the Capsuleer Day 2024 Abyss sites, the T3 Gammas. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something new. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.